Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to everybody around the world. Welcome back to another One Piece video featuring your boy Enel. Come at you guys with another spicy deck profile featuring OP12 here on the channel, let alone a leader in which everybody hates. And that's fine. It's okay. It's alright to be a fan of Enel. This is a deck in which checks every single new player that comes to the game. It also forces players to struggle against, especially if you're unprepared in which how to deal with this leader. And unless you're playing Blackbeard, Enel has a pretty good time in the current metagame. Blackbeard, on the other hand, allows this deck to not function properly considering everything is on play, but outside of Blackbeard, you guys are going to have a good old time with the metagame, especially when you're playing up against decks like Rayleigh, Zoro, Blue Kuzan, everything else under the sun. With that being said, we are going to be playing a list that is going to be full starve. And I know there's different variations to build Enel, there's different play styles you can build this leader with. You can be aggressive, you can go aggro based, you can play Skypiea, you can do a Wanu package, Supernova, there's a lot of different variations with Enel. This particularly is probably one of my favorite variations. I love the starve method. And going into OP12, we've also gained a new card from OP11 that I haven't seen a lot of people utilize. And it kind of makes sense considering we lost the one and the only Raigo, which was like, why? Why, Bandai? Why? We need this. Bring it back, please. But outside of that, we have options of removing everything else in the game that's relevant with 8-cost Katakuri and with a 6-drop, whatever this long name is. There's that, and of course with Thunderbird. We are going to be playing in a way that's going to force my opponents to heal life as much as possible with 8-cost Katakuri and with the Kuzan. Now, considering there are a lot of weenies out there with Rayleigh, with the 1-drop searches and Jewelry Bonnie, every deck has these small bodies in which Kuzan can have a lot of value against. You have Blue Yellow Nami as well. There are a lot of decks out there that this card can just really shift the game, especially when you can get this off in your early game hand, forcing your opponent to trash a card, putting a card on board into your opponent's life, and then you have access to things like Thunderbird to be able to pop characters on curve, i.e. like 5-drop Cavendish, 5-drop Smoker, problematic cards in which you just have to spend 2 Dawn for, depending on how much your opponent's life is. This card gets a lot more value. But Enel, everything else here you guys will probably see in most variations of Enel, the 8-cost Katakuri, Yamato, 10-drop Enel. The only other new inclusion that we have gained access to is KUMA, which this card's pretty strong here. You pitch a card in hand, which typically is going to be a brick or something you don't need at that exact moment in time. You heal 1 life. If your opponent decides to pop this, you heal again. It's really good here in Enel. You're also swinging for 7k, so this gets around Blue Yellow Nami's leader skill, forcing her to pitch another card, which is kind of nice. But without further ado, we are going to dive into a bunch of games today as we typically do. I will catch you guys in a split second. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Dive into a bunch of games today. Come at you guys with Enel playing into Yamato. Unfortunately, this probably is going to make a lot of people mad. Just because how we play this deck, your opponents are not going to like you very much, and that's okay. You're already playing a leader in which nobody enjoys going up against, but he has a very good time in the current metagame. And once you realize how this deck works as an Enel player, all you can do is just laugh. As soon as you hit that 0-cost event that beds you off life, or you're just able to constantly remove everything on board, depending on how much life your opponent has, it gets a little silly. And with Enel, we're not going for face at all. Period. Until we have a board stabilized, there's no need to. There's no need to give your opponent free cards. We're playing a full starve method today, in which your opponent will eventually run out of cards in hand unless they have ways of drawing more, which kind of sometimes works out if they have searchers, right? But this is when the 4-cost Kuzan comes into play, which forces your opponent to pitch a card in hand. And then they also heal, which gives you more beneficials, makes your cards more beneficial when it comes to the Thunderbird, your Yamato. It's really, really consistent. We'll pass turn here. We got rid of the 5-cost Momonosuke already on board. We really just have to be paying attention to the 7-cost Hody Jones and 8-cost Mihawk. We need to make sure we have our Katakuris for those characters, just particularly to remove them out of the way. That way we don't have to deal with them. I find that every single matchup when I'm playing this leader, there are certain decks that can still just give you a rough time. Yamato can be one of them. Rayleigh can still be one, even though that matchup should be 100% in your favor. It kind of depends on what you draw. If you guys don't see that removal, you guys don't have the counter out for the early game when Yamato decides to double banish swing you, it could get kind of rough. But mostly, we're just chilling, boys. We're just hanging in there. We're going to go ahead and put Kamamatsu at the bottom of life here as well with this Ultramarine, very long name card. This card is really good, by the way. Being able to take a 6-drop and just remove it is just so strong. I can't really not do Zeus. It's either one or the other because we still can heal up if we play down the Kuma here, which isn't too bad. And then we can save the 6-drop for later because Yamato does play other bodies on board like the Momonosuke's and stuff that we can just remove with ease. Zeus, on the other hand, he also gained us an extra card. And then we get the heal back with Kuma, so it doesn't really hurt us in the long run. And speaking of 1-drop searchers, let's see if we can get a Kuzan, because that'd be kind of great. Now, I've also noticed that this deck is going to be a Wanu-based Yamato, which isn't too bad. It's pretty good. But if they don't have the Hodies in hand, they're typically going to bottom deck all of the Hodies that they search out. Which is good for me, because then we don't have to deal with it. But outside of that, they're not going to be getting any other character outside of Izo, probably off these searches, or Momonosuke. That's of value to them. And the banish swing here is just really, really good. If Yamato can land a big enough hit. Why? Why are we running that? That's interesting. Maybe just because it's a searchable 2k counter, I'm guessing. If you want to go 8, that's totally cool. Give me my extra life. I do find most players just kind of hesitate when Enel has 1 life left. There's not really a point of swinging, but with the banish here, we can give him the 2k. Just in case it's like a 0-cost event or whatever. We do heal next turn anyway, so. Hey, there's a Kuzan actually. It's kind of nice. Let's play Kuzan here. I guess we are forced to put the Izo in life, aren't we? Because we need to have him removed to be able to swing into the other cards on board. And this forces Yamato to trash life. They did get 3 searches off, but we're going to be able to KO the searchers and get cards out of hand while healing Yamato, which also gives us more benefit to our Yamato 9-drop, which is kind of good. So in case they want to play things like the Hody Jones or another 5-cost Momonosuke, we have the out already. That's my bad. I should have played Kuma there. It's my fault. Because we have 6 Dawn. Yeah, we should have played Kuma. We should have pitched probably a 10-cost Enel and been fine. Oh well. I kind of just went too fast, I guess. Sure. Samurai into another Yamato search. So they draw 2 and then they search another 5. If they didn't get Hody by now, that bottom deck it here, I would assume. Okay, so they have 2 of those, whatever this guy is, in hand. Another Izo. So there's 4 cards in hand we don't know about. This is probably this is gonna land here. And that's fine. It just forces us to have to heal next turn, I think. This is really good, but we have a lot of bricks in hand, so maybe the 0-cost event might come in value here. Or sorry, come in handy here. Sabo, we can't use Sabo right now. We'll run 2 here first. And then we'll clear board again. We'll remove the Otama with Leader Swing. Okay. So now we're looking pretty good here. We can play down Yamato to pop another character to heal up. Sabo doesn't really help us here because we don't get to heal life with our leader ability. Considering that's only on my opponent's turn. And then we don't have a 6 Dawn left over to play Kuma to heal here. It might be beneficial just to play this and pop something. And sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, even though there's nothing on board that's of value here. Well, yeah, this is fine, I guess. We'll just do this instead and see if we can risk it. We'll rest this. We'll try to clear both bodies. If he wants to guard out, that's fine. I don't think he's going to. Cool, there's that. We'll play Kuma again. Then we have 1 Dawn floating over. So this will push us back to 2 life. We can toss, I guess, anything realistically. Probably Sabo, right? Just in case they have another double attack here with a Banish Swing. So now what do? I do think this matchup is kind of stressful for Yamato, to be fair. And as a Yamato player myself, I've never found this matchup to be in my favor at all. Even with the new support cards that we've gained access to with Yamato, it just... Enel seems unwinnable, you know what I mean? That's fine, we'll take this. Ooh, sure. This allows us to draw a free card here, so we'll just pop that. Thank you, sir. There's the Zeus. Or not draw a free card, but pop the card, that's what I meant to say. 0 cost event is okay. There's not really too many rush characters here that she can play down to get value to go for game, so what was the point of playing that here? Okay. We're just dumping hand for characters now. Alright. Little do you know, we have answers for this. Because we still have X-Drake on board, which X-Drake can rest one of the Doji. That we can attack into that, clear that out of the way. And then we have Yamato to pop the other one. And which will heal a life as well. So we'll do that. We'll clear one of these first, and then we'll play Yamato to pop the other. 4 cards in hand. They have 1 more 2K that we know of. Okay. Pop this. We have no reason to attack. We'll pass turn. So they're at what? 6 life? And our board's looking pretty good. Still going for face. Okay. It's 2. Puts me to 1. That's fine. Katakuri, Yamato. Just big body after big body here. It's crazy. Cody Jones? Yep. They're going for it. Putting me on 0 here. That's 11. Well, no. It's not 11, sorry. They can still go 5 with the other one and then go 9 with Hody. Or 10 with Hody, my bad. Yep. 5 lead. We have to guard this one here. It was a good attempt. But Enel is just too thick for most decks. There's another Kuzan. 5 in hand, 1 2K that she has, I believe. Let's test the waters, man. Go 5 here. Let's clear this up. Let's go 9 into Hody Jones. I think I want to play a 10 cost Enel here. As much as we probably could just clear this and be fine, we still need to heal a life this turn. And the only way we can heal a life is by playing down like 8 cost Katakuri, putting something on our side of the board to life, which would be the Kuzan probably. And that's not ideal. I'd rather just get the cards out of hand here and then call it a day. I guess we'll pitch this and we'll do the thing again. We'll go 12 into the Kuzan, or sorry, 12 into the Hody Jones. We're gonna have to pitch a brick. Oh wow, I actually had the counter, that's crazy. Alright, 1 card left. We'll pass it over. Just in case we give them another Hody Jones or like a 6 cost Momonosuke here. We have a little bit of counter, so I think we should be relatively fine if they decide to play a 6 or a 7 body on board. So that doesn't give them too much Dawn to work with anyway. Oh, they're going for the Enel, aren't they? Yep. Okay, fair. You got it. 5 lead? No? Finally, they decide not to attack me. It's crazy. 9 here. We'll heal again. We'll go 12 into Hody Jones. We'll pitch another brick. We don't really need Yamato anymore, so it's fine. And now we can start the beatdown soon. Because that's 4 damage here. We need to be able to kill them in one go, I think. just in case they're able to get bodies off of these last 3 cards in life. 15. If we let this go, I think we don't have lethal. That's only 4 swings, so we will be guarding out here. And that should be game here. Nice. Let's go, boys. And we have a component. I will go back and play against some meta decks after this matchup. I typically wouldn't record this considering Doflamingo is not obviously being played right now. It's just, he's one of my favorite leaders out there, and I think a lot of people like Birdcage, so you never know. He might have a little bit of spice here with A-Cost Mihawk. You know, that could be pretty fun. But we'll see. I doubt it, but you never know. Either way, this is going to be one of those matchups with Enel that we're just probably going to slowly grind away as we typically would. I don't mind taking this hit here for free. Doflamingo does utilize a lot of small searchers, so our Kuzans will get a lot of value. Speaking of Kuzan, our Kuzans will get a lot of value here in this matchup, which is kind of nice. And Kuzan can counter out Sugars for free, considering our on-play can just put Sugar in life and then force them to discard cards. We have nothing to play here, we'll pass it over. What, Diamante, Birdcage? I don't know what this deck is going to be running here. It's been a while since I played Doflamingo, especially in OP12. I would assume there's a little bit of spice to be added here in these deck lists with some of the new green cards we've gained access to, but there's Sugar. Let's go ahead and remove that and force him to discard cards for free. Bottom of life. The good thing about this is it forces him to get rid of possibly events in hand. And if he does give me 2k counters, we all know Doflamingo doesn't utilize too many. It's typically like 8 to 9 in most deck lists. So there's a brick, which is good to know. And the only card we have to be really worried about here is 10 cost Dofi. I would think, just because he can lock down our board when we try to go for game. If he has them back to back to back, it's really problematic here. So he's running the 5 cost Doflamingo, probably instead of Diamante if I had to guess. Both work, both freestand, but still. I guess, man. Well, yeah, we have KUMA in hand, so this will be fine. We can pop this, play KUMA, heal a life. Or, we could have done Thunderbird. But either way works. Katakuri, we already have one in hand. Luffy and Sabo is probably the best pitch here. Get rid of Sabo for now. I feel like I never get a lot of value with Sabo, because most of the time when I want to play him, I'm already on 1 life. And I think that's because I take life aggressively as Enel, me personally. But there have been games in which I do play down the Sabo, and he does get me a lot of value, because he draws you free cards. Which, in most cases, he digs out your big bodies when you're looking for him. Sure. This will put this... Actually, I don't know if that's worth, realistically. I mean, we still remove the body, still does the thing. We can play the Kuzan to just make him pitch cards anyway. Which is nice. We'll put this on bottom. Perhaps we can save Kuzan for somebody else. That might be important. Dofi doesn't really play a lot of bodies here on 6 Dawn, specifically. Okay. We're at 10. We don't really have anything here to play either, outside of Enel. I think we can just drop Enel here without repercussion. Because Ragnarok can't touch it, and it kind of can just sit here. We don't have to swing. I don't want to just start giving him cards right away. Because if we did decide to swing for 11k or 12k there, we heal a life, great. But then he goes 15 into the Enel, and we have to pitch cards in hand to protect it. So that's a 0 cost event, plus a brick, and then plus a 2k counter or the Kuzan. So that's 3 cards out of hand to protect this guy. Especially this stage in the game. He might clear the Kuzan here, though. Okay, he uses the Birdcage to pop it. That's fine. Little do you know, we'll do it again. Force him to throw away another card here. And by not attacking face, it also stops him from gaining cards in hand, which can typically be his events or searchers. So, When we are ready, we'll go for game. And our board's getting to the point where we should be able to do that. Okay, Rosinante. I do like this card in this deck listing. I think this card is really good. I believe when we decided to drop another Doflamingo build, once those cards came out, he's also included in my list too. We will have to dabble back into it in OP12 at some point as like a off-meta fun deck. I think I want to probably utilize the 8-cost Mihawks. Board on open. Luffy, we cannot pop that. I could Thunderbolt him, which isn't too bad. Because the only other option there is we just do Yamato the pop it to heal a life, right? Or we play Katakuri down, put it in life. Which ideally is not the play, because I want to save Katakuri to remove like 7-cost Eustace Kid, or 8-cost Doflamingo on his board. Off-white. Wish we had another Kuzan here. He has replaced the cards in which he has trashed, but 10 lead. Okay, sir, you got it. There's a Kuzan, or sorry, Kuma. That was rude. Can't believe I said that. Go 2 here. Just let it go. There's no way. My guy, what are you doing? Why, though? That seems a little weird, right? Definitely seemed a little weird for me, but, you know, hey, we'll draw a free card. We'll take that. I'll pop the sugar so he can't get another search off. We got a card out of hand already, and we get a 0-cost event off the draw. We have Fodon left, in which we don't have anything here to play, so we'll pass it over here. And I think next turn, maybe we can start attacking face. He's got Tendon open. I wanted to try playing around the Doflamingo before we just, you know, decided to go face here. Speaking of which, there's the Dofi here. Now we can go aggressive, but if he does have another one, we're pretty much cooked, so not really much else we're going to do about it. Because your boy's at, what, 6? No, sorry. 7 life? It's not too bad. Yeah, we can start poking. Because this will do what? If he has an event to rest a character, I think Punk Gibson rests the Kuzan, right? Logically. Yep. No, Punk Gibson rests anything off trigger, so never mind. There's the 5, off-white. That's the event that we knew he had. Iola, go 7 here. Free damage. This is kind of risky, just in case he gets another 10-cost Dofi here, but we still will gain a life, so it's not really that bad. And we already have a book in hand as is. So put him to 4. I mean, we might as well, right? We don't need to play down Katakuri to put anything to life. We might as well play Kuma here to heal up again. That's rough, man. That's rough. We'll pass it over here. Alright, Dofi. What you gonna do, man? 5 here. I think that's okay. If we counter out what, we just swing 5 and then we pitch the Kuzan anyway to replace it with another body on board. Instead of giving him the 2k counter in our hand. You know? 10 here. I do think, however, this is worth guarding out for. Because I think I need him on board to go for game, or attempt to go for game next turn. So we're going to guard here. So we'll do 0-cost event and the Thunderbird. We'll give him the 2k. Had the Dofi anyway. That sucks. Alright, so here's Yama. We're at 7, so we can't pop anything. We can, however, heal again. So pitch Katakuri, go back to the 4. And then we'll go 9 here. Because that's 9, or sorry, 8 and 8, I guess. Or should we not swing? Nah, we gotta swing. This will force an event in hand anyway. Go ahead. Give me the event. Another off-white. We do know he has a Giola in hand as well. So he had an off-white Giola. In the S5 other cards we don't know. So that is a cost Dofi and a Giola left in hand. There's the Giola. Alright. Well, a little bit of information. Not a whole lot. Can he chain me again? Because by chaining these Dofis, it's going to make this matchup so much harder for us. It still stalls the game, but it stalls me from being able to win while he's progressing with big bodies. Okay, so 2 more Doflamingos, 8 cost and 5. We have the answer for the 5. We'll heal up. It's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we can still play Yamato to pop the 8 cost Doflamingo here. Oof. 12. We have to guard this here. Pop that. Just pass. Okay, never mind. Ooh, perfect timing. It's 4, it's 8. We could have triggered it, but this way is fine. We can do it either way here. Put this to the bottom. We'll get rid of the blocker. We'll go 5 lead. This will force him to give me the... Oh, okay, never mind. It was a Doflamingo he got last time off the event. Pass that over. We probably should have swung with board, but we don't really have counter in hand to protect out any bodies, and I didn't want to get another Doflamingo on my face, so... So at the end of this turn, he's going to restand 2 Dawn. He has Rosinante. This means he only can utilize 1 event, unless he's running the Blast Breath. So that's not to give me cards. Smart. Well, this is gonna be a rough game, boys. Because now it's basically like who swings first loses, basically. We'll go 5 here first. If he wants to restand it, that's fine. Okay. 3 down open. I think I want to pass. I know it's crazy, but I think I do want to pass here. Because I do want to try to get more cards out of life, if possible. I don't think anything else is going to help me at this point, but I need to have counter for at least my Enel or my Yamato in hand before we can just go for the game. Because if he wants to establish another 10 cost body, which is Dofi, he has to be able to rest something, otherwise he just plays it down for free like he did the first time. There's Eustace Kid. That's really good for him right now. Because that makes him a 6k, which makes it a little bit difficult for me to attack into him without attaching Dawn. Sugar. 6 lead. Thank you, sir. Katakuri. That's actually pretty useful. Yamato. I'll take it. Alright. Alright, so he's at 4, 7. This might be weird. Because we can play Yamato down. But the moment we play Yamato down, we don't get an attack in, right? But the moment we swing, when he takes a hit, we can't pop the kid anyway. So. At least we're going to force cards out of hand here. Okay. Those are the Rosie. 4 cards left. I guess we'll start swinging with KUMA for 7s. We're checking 2Ks every time, which is nice. So it's either he has them here or he loses the game, I think. He does run Blast Breath. Alright. I like it. So 7. Which does make it a little bit harder for us to do math, because he runs Blast Breath plus the 2 cost events. Okay, alright, we're just getting these attacks in. We'll take it. I'm pretty sure we win now. Because there's no way he's going to be able to survive next turn. I mean, he does have, what, 4 or 5 attacks? But we're at 3 life here. I don't know why I pitched that, it's my bad. This is what I get for talking. Anyway, he's got 5 swings next turn, and we have no counter in hand other than Luffy. So, as long as we're able to guard out 1 hit, we should be fine. I guess we'll just pop the sugar, right? It's either we pop the sugar, or we play Luffy down to draw a card. I think having the big body here is probably better, because I think he's going to run into board, more so than go for face. But I could be wrong. I think this would be the misplay. Yeah, we'll play Yamato down. And again, we couldn't play Yamato to begin with to remove the kid, because he would just rest one of our characters on board, and I don't think that's valuable, because then if that's the case, if you rest something, then we can't swing with 2 characters, the Yamato and then something else on board, which means he would still be at 1 life, or 2 life, if he decided to guard any of those swings there. So perhaps what we did was the correct way, or the correct play. He can still go for game, though. Especially with everything he's got going on here. But, if you notice, we haven't seen a Veggie yet. And we've got 18 cards left. So mathematically speaking, one of these extra lives could potentially be a Veggie. Which, if one of these cards are, we just win game off that by itself. Because with 18 cards left, 3 in life, the chances are pretty high, to be fair. We've seen 2 zero-cost events, 3 zero-cost events. There's a Spiderweb. The more Dawn he spends this turn, the harder this matchup is going to become. I mean, because Dofi already swings for 6 innately with the kid effect. Plays a blocker here. I think I would have kept that 5 Dawn and just went for face. Three open. He has the -1 for kid. Probably attaches 1 to lead, goes 7. And then he has, what, 9, 9, 11, 11? So 7, 9, 9, 11, 11. Oh, okay, never mind. Sure, you got it. Okay, sure. No problem. And no problem. You can have that as well. Yep. I don't know why he decided to do that instead of going for face. But I do know playing Enel for as long as, you know, he's been out, you kind of get the impression, or I wouldn't say impression, you kind of get like the sense when you have certain cards in life with how many cards you have left in your deck, how many cards you've already seen, what cards are going to help you out to win you the game. It's just one of those ordeals. Let's go 15 here. I think 15 is a lot safer for end of game pick or swing. Oh. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's keep them going. Coming at you guys another matchup with Enel playing into blue-yellow Nami here, which is kind of tragic considering she can just rip life for free with her 8-cost Eustace Kid. And I do think the Odin, if she is utilizing it, could be pretty scary here in this matchup. We can't remove it, and when we try to remove it, she's able to just pitch cards in hand, which makes it a very, very sticky target, so sure. The downside is, from the way I like to play this deck, Nami does get to draw a lot, because we often take hits aggressively, which is unfortunate, so it's kind of like a double edge, because she gets to draw free cards, right? But everything that we play in this matchup, we have an opportunity of removing something on board. She doesn't play a lot of characters down that are problematic for me. So you have things like the Teach, you have like the Nojiko, the Hiyori. All of them are pretty cheap, right? Therefore, things like Thunderbolt and Kuzan get a lot of value. Speaking of which, I need to be able to remove this. It's just very hard to figure out how we want to do it. And I think Thunderbolt is the correct way. Because the 6-drop event, we could remove KUMA later on, after a turn has passed, if we don't have any other way of removing him. And if we can get rid of Cavendish's, anything else that's super valuable for her at the time. Get the Zeus, removes my Kuzan, goes 10 lead, no problem, you got it. There's a Yamato. We kind of got to play around Pudding, and this would be like a prime Pudding moment for her if she has it. I do hope not. Because our hand is just nothing but big bodies here. Which is really good for me. So, she's at 9 Dawn. So, Pudding or Red Rock? Nope, okay, alright. No problem. I mean, you're helping me anyway. You got it. Oof. You see? That's pretty good. We could remove the Zeus, but we're not going to do that. So that gives her another opportunity of getting a 2k in life, healing up for free. And Zeus, on the other hand, can be taken out of life or with a Hiyori if need be. I'll leave it. I'll leave it for now. As silly as it sounds. Oh, wait, math. Let me see. Hold on. 6, 7, 8. No, we're good. We're good. Because we can still play Yamato to pop something on board here, which is kind of nice. That's 6. Yeah, 7, 8. We have the Katakuri to remove this anyway, so we don't have to do that. I think it's better for us to play Katakuri to put that in life, and then save a Katakuri for later to utilize for the Eustace Kid. She's at 7, so now we have 9 life altogether, so Yamato is hitting pretty much everything she plays on board at this point. Come on, play Eustace Kid, please. Play it down. Do me a favor. You know you want to. Speaking of which, we have not seen a... What have we? Yeah, we have. Never mind. Thunderbird. No swing. Interesting. Keeps me at 2. Maybe she's worried about the 10 cost Enel or Rush Ace here. Which makes sense. We'll put this in life now. Remove the whole board. And then force her to pitch a card. Slave Arrow. It's good to know. Go 5. We'll pass it up. Just want to show her that, hey, we can still swing. We can attack. Alright? That's all. We probably shouldn't have done that, but it's okay. You see? I probably was a Zeus in life, too. Takes our Kuzan. Unfortunate. Still at 8. So 7 Dawn left. Probably a KUMA play with 1 Dawn open. That way she can bounce back. Oh, there's the Pudding. Okay. Alright. Not bad. We got 4 big bodies here, so doesn't really matter. We'll start beating her down, man. Because every single time we swing over 7k, it forces her to give us 2 cards here. Which we know the rest of the life outside of the last one here. And with that being known, it's a little bit easier for us to win the game. Yep. This will force the block, or perhaps just take another free hit. And get rid of the 0 cost. Gain a life. Cool. Because Katakuri is still valuable here if she wants to play it on Eustace Kid. Because we won't be able to run our Enel into it with the blocker on board. She's got a whole book over there too, by the way. So, no red rocks yet. No grab blades. There's a KUMA. Pitches a card to heal up. There's a Teach. We'll take that. Goes 9 into KUMA. I mean, ideally yes, because we can heal, but having this body on board is going to be a lot more beneficial to us here, I think. We'll give you the 2 cost and the 1 cost KUMA. Normally I wouldn't have done that, but being able to just go Katakuri, put this in life, and then 7, 7, 8, and 12, or sorry, 11 is really good. Because regardless, we're going to get cards for our leader ability, right? So it's 1 Pudding, okay? And Nojiko, and then we'll get another one. Okay, never mind. You have a blocker here. There's a 2K. We'll go 11. Takes the hit. So now we have to worry about the Kikinojo. Play around that a little bit. And we do know she has another KUMA in hand here. Or sorry, KUMA in life as well. So far, so good. We're doing pretty solid here. Although having 2 cards in hand is not the best, but we have the bodies on board in which she cannot remove and attack into something else here. I guess she could Red Rock something and then swing into the KUMA for 9k, technically. And that would be an okay play. She removes 2 bodies. Never mind. Sure, you got it. That's crazy. With all the cards she has drawn, she has not seen Red Rock. It's wild. We'll keep it up. Play her down. Just take the Kikinojo. Gives me a kid. Perhaps she has another one in hand, and we get a KUMA. We'll try it again. We'll go 7. Can we have the Kikinojo, please? KUMA. That's 2 KUMAs. 1 on life. Okay. Now we're good, boys. Because we can just put that back in life with our Katakuri here. Or a 6-drop, doesn't really matter. I think we should just use the Katakuri to have another body on board and then use the 6-drop to discard for the Enel. Which is probably better anyway. But she can't go for game here with putting in Nami, so we're chilling. And that is the 4th KUMA. Pitches another Slave Arrow, by the way. That's the second one we've seen her throw away, which is crazy. 9 into a body, I assume. Yep, you got it. I'll heal up. There's a Beji. So we've got 3 Kata swings. She's got 2 blockers on board. That gives me another kid. So that's 2 kids she's thrown away and 2 Slave Arrows, which is nice to know. I mean, if you want to take these hits, be my guest. And we'll do it again. So force a blocker, I'd assume. There's no way you go to 1 life. I didn't think so. Alright, boys. It's all or nothing this turn for her. There's not a way that she can win here. She could sustain, I would assume. But she cannot win this turn or next turn, I don't think. So I think next turn we just have the game. 13, sure. You better be going 9 into Katakuri here. Good. We'll give her the 2K. And that should be it then. She has 4 cards in hand. Hey, we got a Sabo. Let's play Sabo for once. We don't need the Dawn to win the game. We're fine. We have a blocker. We're chilling. Yep. Double Yamato and a Zeus. So we have a way of popping the law now. Oh. You're cool. And we have a component in life. Yeah, so we play the Zeus, pop the law, and go for game. Crazy. I don't want to bore you guys with all of the Enel matches, so we'll probably play maybe like 3 games after this one, maybe. Maybe 2, depending on how long this is, because we are playing against a control deck. But at most, I do think Kuzan has a favorable matchup into Enel if he sees the curve. And he got to go second, so he definitely has a lot of bodies that he can keep putting down on board. Unfortunately, that's a Cavendish. And we have the answer for that. On site, by the way. So we'll Thunderbird it, and then we'll pass turn over. We do have a lot of ways of removing everything that Kuzan plays on board, considering it's an 8 cost. So with Katakuri being the thing, we can constantly keep putting cards in life and then making our Thunderbird a lot stronger, which is pretty solid. Plays Jozu here. We'll take this hit as well. There's another Kuzan. We have the means to remove the Jozu, so we'll just do that and we'll pass it over. We'll pass the turn. So now Kuzan's at 6. He has no bodies on board here. But he does go to 8 Dawn. So I would assume maybe a Garp play if he has Garp in hand. I hope not, but because that would kind of suck already because we don't have a board yet. Don't play Garp, please. Don't have it. Don't have the Garp. Yes. We're good. We're good, boys. And that's kind of what I'm worried about in this matchup. Being able to just outpace me with bodies is kind of problematic. Because we only play one big body a turn. He can play two in a late game. But we are also starving him, which makes it a little bit easier for us to remove things. His Gravity Blade doesn't get a lot of value here, so he has to look for things like Red Rock, which is unsearchable here in this deck list. So, and speaking of which, this might be crazy, but I don't necessarily want to play 6 Dawn to put the Tashigi in life, then spend 2 to pop the Sakazuki. That might be a little overkill. Just a little bit, right? Just a little bit. Now, we could do it this way. We could play the Katakuri, put this in life, we'll pass turn. We could have also done the Kuzan, spend 4, put the Tashigi in life, and then we could have done the Thunderbird. I think, is that math? 3, 6, 7. Yeah, we could have done it that way too. So it would have been Kuzan, Thunderbird to remove both characters on board, or the 6-drop into Thunderbird to remove both characters on board. At least this way we got down at big body. Although they had the removal for it, I think that was a pretty solid attempt getting the body on board. So it does force them to play down a 2K counter instead of progressing the state of play with like a Garp into another combo. So I'm not too mad about that. Ooh man, pretty crazy hand, I'm not gonna lie. A pudding would be very, very good here. We already have one, it's fine for now. Alright, so we have to remove that off the field as soon as possible. We'll put this in life. We'll force them to discard a card. The other good thing about this matchup is Kuzan has to take this game before he decks himself out, and we typically can stall enough to be able to win that, which is kind of nice. We can play Luffy here, do the thing, pop this, draw a free card, and then we can pass the turn. Hopefully next turn we can establish a big body. Because we have the Katakuris to remove the board state. So we'll go 5 lead. Realistically, I probably shouldn't have done that in case he drew a pudding off life, but we kind of gotta start poking here soon. There's a Garp. Play Sokka. Come on. Play Sakazuki. Do it to yourself. Because that forces him to what? Draw 4 cards, basically? You pitch for the Garp. You play... Yes. Alright, so they're drawing 3. And then Sokka effect, he can draw another one here. That's 4 cards. And he pitches 1 to do Sokka ability. Yep, there's the rested. 5 lead. That's okay. 0 cost event. We'll do that. That's fine. We did not need that to survive. It's just one of those ordeals. Because we would have been at 1 life either way. Because he would have swung here probably with 5 or 6k. And I would have taken that hit anyway. Unless we were at 1 life entirely. That would just give him a probably 2 Kumas there. Or the Sabo into a Kuma. 7. We'll go to 1. There's a Katakuri, which is pretty good. Alright, so he has no Dawn up here, which is good for us. This way, we're able to remove the Suru. Or at least get cards out of hand here if he wants to give me 2k counters, and I'm okay with that. Please, you don't need this. Just let it go. I mean, he does have a book over there, so he definitely has the counter. Alright, so there's 1 2k. We'll try again. Nice. Alright, so we'll play Kata here, and then I will put the Sakazuki in life. Or, we'll put Garp in life, and then we'll pop the Sakazuki with the Thunderbird. The biggest Thunderbird you've ever seen, right? Pretty good. Pretty good. That's 2 bodies we got off the board. We got 16 Dawn worth of characters removed with 10 Dawn of our own, which is kind of nutty. So another Garp into what? Kuzan freezes my Katakuri. Probably go 7 at the Kuzan here. If I had to guess. Throws away a 2k, which is good. Yeah, he's gonna go 7. You got it. Because the only other option here is 0 cost event, which is not worth. Guess there was a Luffy. Do the same thing, play Katakuri. Remove one of these bodies. Got 4, 5, 6, 7 in hand here. I guess we can start poking. I suppose. I mean, at some point we're going to have to anyway. We'll pass it over. No trigger, please. Thank you. So far, so good. I mean, we're still sitting at 1 life and he has a book in hand, but I think we're fine. As long as he doesn't pudding me, we're alright. I mean, we've got 9 in trash, 1 in life, 2 on board, right? So that's 9. I mean, we got 30 cards left in the deck, so the odds of me drawing my Kumas or any of my big bodies are pretty high because we've only seen pretty much Katakuri, which is nice. You got it. There's an Enel. Luffy's not going to get value here. The 6-drop's not going to get value here this turn. Next turn it will, but we don't have an opportunity to play that because I would probably want to get down a big body here or a Kuma. And go 8, 1 down open, probably for the ice block. Regardless of if I counter this out or not, we do have to heal next turn. We're going to have to counter here. Because I think I have to remove a body on board. And with him having the ice block, it's not going to be possible. So he's able to protect 1 body, then he can probably go for game. Do that and that. Sorry, Kuma. There's a Zeus. Like, there's no way we can develop a body and then swing tall enough to KO the Garp without him ice blocking for it. At least this way we get 2k counters out of hand. Or 1k Sengokus, I'll take that. Well, we play Kuma down, we heal up, or we play Katakuri to remove a body. I think this is the better play here as well. We can put Garp in life. I guess it really doesn't matter here, right? We'll go 7 lead here. So this either takes a hit, I would assume. Yep, cool. Pass it over. Still has 2 attacks up. No rush unit, so I think we're good. 17 cards left in the deck. He might deck himself out, actually. What we got here? Okay, so that's 3 Thunderbirds, unfortunately. There's Kuzan again. So I guess he does not have another Garp right now, which is good. But he's still able to freeze Katakuri. He did throw away another 2k counter, which is good. There's Tashigi. Gets Garp, so there's the Garp he needed. Unless he drew that off the Kuzan, I guess it was better to play down the Tashigi first. Let's not trigger this. I know it's crazy, but I'd rather him swing on me with the Kuzan. We can still guard out the swing anyway with the Zeus and 2 Kumas. You know what I mean? But if he does swing on me, we can just run our Katakuris into it and get cards out of hand instead of going for face. So I'll hold the Garp for now. Or sorry, not Garp, but the Capone. Speaking of Capone, we get another one. Alright. That'd been really nice if that was a Kuma play, to put the Capone in life there. I don't like the fact that he didn't attack me, though. So I guess we're going to pressure him. We can 8 again. Jozu can't really bounce anything on my board, so it's not really problematic for me. The Sokka, on the other hand, gives him a lot of value. It does get him closer to decking out, which is really good. And if he wants to play Sakazuki next turn, I don't care. We'll pitch a Kuma to heal a life anyway. Yes, sir. So he's got 3 bricks in life and a 1k counter. He's got a ridiculous amount of cards in hand here, but he still can't go for game this turn. because we have the counter to be able to protect out from the Hina swing or the Tashigi if need be. But potentially he does have 5 swings here, so he doesn't have to go for game this turn, I don't think. Yeah, with the amount of cards in hand, I'm sure he has enough to protect himself from lethal here, if need be. He finally does see the red rock, though. So Kuma's not going to be able to heal me, which is unfortunate. And again, no swings. So that's 2 turns he decided not to swing with his Kuzans. One he just played, for example, so that one couldn't swing. But this time around, he decided not to swing with 2 Kuzan attacks. And now we get to go 9 here. He pitches a card in hand, but he also draws another card. So, again, closer to the decking out in this matchup. Okay, gives me 2. We're going to go 8. I'm not sure why he decided to take these hits, honestly, because he cannot go for lethal next turn. That's actually crazy, to be fair. I'll pitch a Capone. Or Zeus, doesn't really matter here. I want to keep the Enel, because that means that's 4 swings he has to go through this turn. Which, even if we decide to take all of them, it's not enough. But 13 cards in hand. There's 8 to face. That's fine, we'll take the first hit. There's Yamato. That's not great. Goes 9, we'll take this one as well. There's a Zeus. So he's got 8 Dawn left to play with here. Goes 8k. 6 Dawn left, that's fine. Kuzan will pitch Yamato. What was that, 5 and 6? I think your boy threw the bag when he decided. I think he threw the bag when he decided to take all of those swings in a turn. With the amount of cards he had in hand, there's no way he didn't have, counter for some of those, Not necessarily saying he was going to win the game by any means by, countering out of those hits, but still. 6, we'll give you the 2k. And GG. I mean, yeah, he had some counter in hand. A lot of bricks, though. Overall, not bad. Pretty good. I do feel, however, Kuzan played really well. Like, I don't feel like he made a lot of misplays. I do think that there was a turn in which he played down the Tashigi before he played down the 8-cost Garp, so I don't know if he played Kuzan, and Kuzan drew him a card, right? I don't know if it drew him the Tashigi, and which got the Garp, or he already had a Garp in hand, otherwise he played Garp into Kuzan for that turn. I'm not 100%, but there was a turn like that, and then he also gave up 3 attacks with Kuzans that were on board, which he could have swung into me, and he decided not to, so there's that as well. This matchup, on the other hand, Rayleigh, I've heard from a lot of Rayleigh players that say Enel is 100% a lost matchup for them. And I can see it. I feel Enel has always been very strong into aggro decks, into Zoro, Zuzoro, DeBello Betty. Enel can hang, right? Not saying that those matchups are by any means easy, especially Bello Betty, for example. When she sees the nuts on the first 2 turns, she can have a full board just going face, 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 face. Like, we've all seen it, we've all been there. The deck is super explosive. But Enel typically has good matchups into aggro. I don't necessarily think I've ever had trouble in OP12 with Enel into a Rayleigh, but there are some games where I don't see the cards I need. And that does happen, even though you're playing Enel and you're taking a lot of early game hits. And we don't see your big bodies, you typically lose. You know what I mean? Because playing Katakuri down should remove 1 body on board. When you don't see Thunderbolts, you don't see any 5-cost Luffy's or anything, it's just problematic. And speaking of Thunderbolt, we'll go 7 here. Unfortunately, we had to play the Zeus to be aggressive to remove these bodies here. Otherwise, he would have kept a body on board, plus potentially playing down like a Zoro, plus something else here. And that's something I don't want to deal with, especially being on 1 life. So we have to control this board as best as possible. So he does get Luffy. Hopefully no Sanji here. He does get the Sanji. They always have the Sanji. What am I talking about? Probably can go 6 to face. We know 2 cards in hand for sure, which is good. I think Rayleigh is... I don't want to say it yet, but I think he's kind of slow playing, you know, to be fair, you know. Aggro deck. Eh. Bro. What are we doing? Does not swing here. Alright. Anyway, that timer is crazy already. We'll pop this. As much as I don't want to pop the Sanji, we'll have to pop the Sanji here as well. Because I can't do Zeus, so we have to clear it this way, and I can't allow him to keep this character on board in case he does have another rush unit for next turn, which could be a Kid and Killer, it could be a 3-cost Zoro. Either way, they're swinging on me pretty heavily, and I don't want to pitch all the cards that we have in hand to protect myself, so there's that. Typically, I like to save the 2-cost Thunderbirds for the Luffys, which seems to be the problematic card here in this deck list. Sometimes Kid and Killer can be a little spicy, can kind of catch me off guard, but often not, I save it for the 4-cost Luffys if possible. So he's lucky for the Sanji draw there. We didn't have any other way of removing it because we haven't seen Kuzan. Kuzan is really good to have here in this matchup because you're bottom lifing pretty much everything he plays on board other than the Luffy and the Kid and Killer. You know what I mean? So therefore Sanji doesn't get him to draw a card. Instead he pitches cards from hand, which does hurt Rayleigh in the long run, especially when he's able to cheat out a lot of early game bodies, which we can remove with ease, and then he keeps the events in hand that he has to pitch, or he has to pitch the body from the Kuzan effect, which is nice for us. And speaking of Kid and Killer, yep, same 2 cards. So there's 4 cards we still don't know. But either way, we have to guard here, otherwise we go to 0 life. Because Kid and Killer is already going to be triggered to swing for 7. Which is good. So he could go 7 and 8 this turn, I believe. Again, Rayleigh is slow playing, so I apologize. I will try to do as best as I can when it comes to editing this matchup. 7 lead. Then he goes 8 with Rayleigh. So I guess we'll guard here with the 0-cost event. I mean, necessarily we don't know if he's going to go 8, but I would assume so. Because the only other body he plays down here is, what, a Searcher, right? And I would think he'd play the Searcher first, if that's what he wanted to do. Go 8. Oh, goes. What are we doing here? Sure. We'll Thunderbird that. No problem. See ya. And we'll pitch a card in hands. Luffy gives us value here too, though, but we don't really want to play him next turn, I don't think. Leaves 2 Dawn up. Okay. There's the Kuzan. A little late, but we have him. Remember, he's got 2 events in hand and 4 cards we don't know. If he had any Searchers, he'd have played them last turn, which he didn't, so I'd assume he has none in hand here. So I don't mind poking for face. Takes the hit. We'll play Katakuri here, and we'll put our Zeus in life. That sucks a little bit, but it's okay. Kind of got to use what we can work with, and we haven't seen any other big bodies yet. I mean, we got the Katakuri on curve too, which is good, but still. I'd much rather put something in his life over there instead. Okay, so Boa. I'm guessing he just drew that. Perhaps. Yep. Observation Hockey. So he's got Observation Hockey in the same 2 other events he's been utilizing. So that's 3 cards in hand we know of. Which means he has 5 cards that we don't know of. Again, no 1-cost Searchers, right? Otherwise he would have played them, unless he drew into him this turn, or he drew the Boa this turn. So there's Observation Hockey, attaches the rest to Dawn, draws a Roanoa. So Zoro's going to hit the board. Definitely. which could swing for 7 if he does the boa effect. So there's the Zoro. 3 down open. Goes 6. Interesting. I'll give you a 2K here, actually. Unfortunately, I don't like giving away the Capones because it gives my opponent information early game. But the Zeus might hold a little value here if we can actually play Zeus to take the other Zeus in life and pop something on board. Because if we decide to see another Katakuri or a Yamato, my turn could change next turn. But if we don't see Yamato or Katakuri, we're going to have to remove this board one way or the other. There's X-Drake. I mean, that could be pretty useful too. X-Drake could come down and do a thing, but we'll do this first, right? Force him to discard a card. Okay, so that's a different event, I believe. I don't necessarily remember though, right? Because I thought he had the observation hockey he was showing me. I think he was showing me the mole gun, I think. I'm pretty sure. Okay, so he takes this hit. I guess we just pressure him then. Because we have the bodies on board now, which is good. And then we'll pop the boa here. Okay. And let's hope he doesn't draw into another Zoro or Kidding Killer. And then if not, we're chilling. So either the Zeus play here was a bit aggressive and we shouldn't have done that, or it's fine, right? Because he still could have had, for example, Rayleigh swing, Boa swing once he dons her up. Kidding Killer or Zoro, one of those two hit the board, and then he can pop the Boa to give it a boost. Which means he gets 3 swings that turn instead of having Rayleigh plus something else, considering we popped the Boa. Okay, so those are the cards. Alright, that's fair. There's the Searcher. So he did not have any Searchers. We were right. He must have got that off life or the draw for this turn. And it looks like Luffy played down the Searcher here, so he has no Sanji in hand either. Or Boa, which is good enough for me. 6. Luffy's also a 6. 6 lead. Okay. There's an Enel. I guess we can just pitch the Zero Cost event here. Because the Enel is going to heal us anyway. Goes for 6. We'll give you a 2K. He leaves up the same 2 Dawn as he did last turn, I believe, if I remember. Or the turn before, sorry. 6 cost events. Let's go 5 here first. We'll try to get cards out of hand here instead of going for face. So I think we could potentially go for game, but we know he does have some events in hand, so I want to be a little mindful here. And I'd rather get cards out of hand by just swinging for the Zoro. And we have ways of removing the rest of the characters on board. We could play the 6-drop event to put the Luffy in life, right? To remove that, we could play down the X-Drake to rest the Shiki, and then pop that as well. Like, we have a lot of ways of removing this board here. But I also have to sustain myself as well. If he has another, like, 2 more rushers in hand, it's a problematic situation for us. Alright, so we finally let him go. Let's go 5 lead. Yes, events. Because I would imagine if he had bodies, he would have played them last turn with the 2 Dawn he had left over. Yep, goes to 7, no problem. We'll go 8 lead as well. Put him to 2 life here. I would think. Okay, that puts him to 7, puts me to 7. Yep. I don't know why you didn't do that to begin with, because then you wouldn't have to have countered out as much, I'd imagine. Another 0 cost. Goes to 9. Okay. We'll drop the 10 cost of Nell here. We'll heal up. We'll pitch the 6 cost event. Gain life. We'll pass turn here. Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Because he still has to hit us 4 times to win game. And he has 3 bodies on board here, so if he decides to play another rush unit, I think we're chilling. One of these lives here will allow us to survive, I'd assume. 1 Kidding Killer, 1 Zoro. I don't know why I decided to not let me look at the trash there, but okay. Okay. Fair. I thought Luffy was 6k there, so I don't know if it just bugged out or he wasn't able to use it. I'm not 100% there. Maybe he wasn't 6k. I'll have to go back and watch. 2 events. Okay, so that's what he's holding Dawn for then, the Radical Beams. Interesting. It's weird because there have been attacks in which he could protect himself out of with the Rad Beam. And he leaves the Dawn up to use the Rad Beam, and he hasn't done that yet. I'm not saying he gets the 4k boost, but he still gets that 2k boost, you know? Like, for example, he used the event in which gives him 2,000 power and minuses 1k for everything on board, and then uses a Rad Beam in that situation to protect himself at least for 1 hit. There was a turn in which he could have done that. So we got Conqueror's Hockey there. No problem, no problem. What's next? There's 4 minutes left. So I apologize in advance. We'll play one more game after this one, then we'll call it a day. I'm already spent, man. This matchup should not be this long, especially when you're playing an aggro deck list, but it's each their own. I don't know. It's interesting, to say the least. Your boy is stuck in a position where he only can get 3 attacks this turn. And there's no possible way he can go for game. So you're just clearing bodies on board at this point. Because hypothetically speaking, we play with any bodies that we get off a life here, we just win at that, you know, we just win. Speaking of which, we get a Luffy. So we'll pop the Shiki. Or the Shaki, sorry. It just, I don't know. There's that. And there's no reason to say, like, Rayleigh has no idea what he's doing. There's no reason to say that. You gotta be as polite as possible. But at the end of the day, your boy has been slow playing me for I don't know how long. So, he's been taking his time and trying to do the best plays he can. And perhaps that's the best cards that he has drawn for this game. I'm not entirely sure. But at the end of the day, Enel has a field day with most aggro decks in the current format. Unless they see the nuts and you don't draw anything, like period, you don't see any of your big bodies, which does happen time to time. Enel has a good time here, alright, overall. And I think we did really well in this matchup by being able to remove bodies on board and not, like, stress out about it too much. So there's a mulligan, okay? Because he does have bodies on board that are 6Ks, so he's going to 5k minus on our 10-drop Enel, which I don't think matters here. I'm pretty sure we still have the game. So we're going to go 9 lead. I think we're still doing pretty good. So there's another Zoro he just gained off a life with no counter, which is good. I think I can attach 1 Dawn here and swing for 7. We'll pitch the Katakuri to heal up, go to 8. So if he wants to give us the event, that gives him plus 2k, minuses 1 to everything. Now would be the time. There's that. Yep. I think I might have just done that first off. I don't know. Oh, he didn't have anything else. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this will be the last game of the day. Like I said, I am spent. Rayleigh kind of just... he sucked the life out of me, man. We tried our best. We had a good time playing Enel today, as we typically do. I will probably spend a little bit more time here on this leader. And, see what we can cook up, man. I'm having a lot of fun with Enel and Kuzan in OP12 right now. I'm not going to give up on Kuzan. I'm very much enjoying that leader. Still my favorite deck to play right now. Enel is up there as well. And I think that's more so just to see the expression on people's faces when you pull out Enel at your locals or regional events or just your bigger spots, right? Because no one likes this leader. No one likes playing against it. And it makes me happy inside to be able to just be like, yo, Veggie off life, 0 cost event. It's just Enel things at the end of the day. Yellow decks. It's fun, okay? That's it. It's fun. No hard feelings. I love y'all, but a lot of people don't seem to like this leader, man. I don't get it. It's way too fun not to play. Anyway, we're going to end today off playing against Zoro, in which your boy doesn't get to restand a whole lot, because we don't play a lot of characters down, do we? He has to utilize the events to restand, and I don't really mind. Especially when he plays like little small bodies on board that we can just easily remove with Luffy, or if you guys are running a variant with Gidatsu, Thunderbird. We have numerous ways of just popping characters for free and then just drawing cards. It's kind of nice. Look at that. Clear that. We'll pass turn over. He's at 5 life. 5 life. We're at 2 on turn 3. We've gotten rid of Kuina for no particular reason. He decided to play that on board, which is kind of crazy. I don't know why. Because we don't really play any 4 cost or under characters other than Kuzan here that deserves to be rested, so I think it's better to keep that in hand for a counter at some point. There's 10, sure, no problem. There's another Kuzan. Your boy hasn't learned. He has not learned. What are we at? We're at 8 down here? I guess. Put this in life, force in the discard a card. Now we have another body on board here, and he has nothing to rest it with unless he has Tashigi or another Kuina. Just that way you can just rest it, swing into it, and swing lead. What you got, Zoro? And so far, so good. There's no pudding to worry about in this matchup either. It's just, we have the better late game, I believe, with the big bodies. Unless Zoro is running the 9-cost Zoro, then it's problematic, right? Because we don't have Rago. So, let's hope he doesn't have that. There's a Mihawk. We have the answer for that. There's a Cavendish as well. And we have the answer for that with the Zeus. So, we'll put this in life. I will not Zeus here, obviously, otherwise we just get cooked. No matter how much counter we have in our hand, not worth. We'll pass it over, though. Your boy's got 5 cards in hand compared to my book, so... I mean, he is at 7 life, and that's kind of problematic, but we've got Katakuri on board, we have means to remove the Cavendishes. We're chilling. Definitely chilling. He has to play something here first before he can withstand the Dawn. Okay. Alright. I'm assuming his hand is terrible, and that's good. It's good news for us. But unfortunately, we have the Luffy. So we can play Luffy here, pop the Zoro, draw a free card. We have 4 Dawn open after that. What do we get? Another Kuma. That's really good for us. We'll pass the turn here. We don't need the swing. I've learned that in this matchup, if Zoro doesn't have anything to rest, he doesn't necessarily have a whole lot of value. But at the end of the day, when we're able to heal until the late game with the Kuma, the Enel, or the Yamato, it makes this matchup so much harder for Zoro. Another Mihawk. Your boy has not learned, has he? We'll play Katakuri, put Mihawk in life, and we'll pass turn. Welcome to Enel. I guarantee you Zoro is really hating this matchup at this point. Hey, there's a Thunderbird. Let's pop the Cavendish. Get rid of that. Let's play a Kuma down, heal a life here. Okay, Zoro's feeling a little aggressive. We'll pitch the... I guess we can pitch a Kuzan, can't we? Or we can pitch the Luffy. I mean, Sabo's pretty good too. There's a lot of targets here. Well, let's throw this away for now. Alright, so now we're at 3 life again. Well, 2, you know what I mean. And he can't lethal me, which is good. Doesn't play a body on turn, doesn't swing. I don't know if he's fearing the ace or not. Not too sure. We're getting another Sabo here. Let's heal again. He brought this on himself, okay? He did. That was his fault. And you know what? You know what, Zoro? For your troubles, okay? For your troubles. We'll attack you for 7, okay? This is your fault. Yep. We'll go 7 here as well. Bro, there is no way you're taking all these hits. Good sir. You better be countering. Well, I think he just lost the game. Entirely. I mean, he has the crack into a character, restand crack into a character, right? I get it, but... They've always got 12 cards in hand, no bodies here. We've already removed 2 Mihawks and another blocker. There's not really anything he can play on board here to survive next turn unless he has the counter. Yeah. Good job, man. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the end of the video. I do hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. It was a long day today. We had a lot of fun with Enel, as I typically do here. We played a starve variant, in which is very, very good in the current metagame. Being able to stick on board all these big bodies, in which there isn't a whole lot of removal. Because if you've noticed, we don't necessarily have a whole lot of removal decks out there right now. Rob Lucci is still running around, you know, he's still doing okay, right? Blackbeard, he's alright. He's pretty good into this metagame. Just, especially at my local scene, and we do cap out every single day on Tuesdays and Sundays with 64 people, generally speaking. We have maybe 3 at most, of Blackbeard players. And unfortunately, he's just not very fun. So you don't often run into this deck list, and this is just one of those decks that you just don't typically win as Enel, unless you are utilizing the 10 cost rush, which can help out, but most of the time, and Blackbeard typically has the matchup. Other than these two removal decks, there isn't a lot in the format. Arguably, Sakazuki is back, but I still feel like Sakazuki, his time's kind of, you know, gone and past, you know. Each their own. Definitely not on the same tier as Lucci or Blackbeard, but, you know, he still is a removal deck that can put in work, especially if you're skilled, by any means, right? But outside of those 3, there isn't a whole lot of removal in the format that has the proper means of dealing with your big bodies, you know, back to back to back, which is kind of nice. And I also think that's probably one of the reasons why the decks like this Luffy is still running around here with the Mihawks, the Sanjis. There's not a lot of whole removal that can deal with decks like this. Being able to cheat out these big bodies, or sustain yourself to cheat out big bodies each and every turn, it's very hard to deal with. On top of Enel's passive ability, when you're playing into a metagame that utilizes a whole lot of aggro with Rayleigh, Smoker, and then Zuzoro is still running around here. There's a lot of aggro decks that just falter to Enel. Just straight up fold, which is really good for you. So if you guys are very much interested in playing a yellow deck that you can have fun with, that you can enjoy, Enel is something to look into. Very fun. Just overall, people will not like to play against you, and that might be okay in your boat. Other than that, this deck list did very, very well for me today. It performed quite good, especially with the new 6-cost event, in which this is hitting so many cards in the format. And we're talking about, we are removing Cavendishes, we're removing the Smokers, we're removing every problematic 6-drop or 5-drop card on board, just with this alone. You may argue cards like Tashigi exists. It does, but when you have Kuzan, you have Thunderbird, this card is irrelevant to you, because you can just pop this for a turn, play this down, or play, you know, one of these 3, and you're coasting. You're having a good time. Either way, this has been your boy Pawseplays. Remember to hit that like button so we can get these videos floating around. I appreciate you guys for sticking in and tuning in when it comes to Enel. Stay safe out there. I will catch you guys in the very next one.